Good morning and welcome to another edition of Daily Brew, your morning pick-me-up. I'm Art Preuss, pastor of the Naples SDA Church. Thank you for joining us and we're glad to have you this morning with us. Exodus chapter 3 verses 6 and 7, we're looking at the last aspect of God's characters. We saw already that God is a merciful, gracious, and long-suffering. But then the following words come into play, that he abounds in, and then there are three more characteristics: steadfast love, forgiveness, and graciousness. We've already looked at three characteristics. We looked at merciful, we looked at gracious, and we looked at long-suffering. But then we find the following words very interesting. He abounds in, and to abound in is to give the image of when you look out from the beach out to the sea, and the ocean seems like it's never ending. And then it follows that description with three particular things: steadfast love, forgiveness, and faithfulness. I want to focus on one of those more specifically, and that is forgiveness. The Hebrew word that is used here is one that literally means to pick up and to carry it away. We've already seen of God's graciousness, how He gives us things that are undeserving. But now when we talk about forgiveness and we go to God and ask for forgiveness of our sins, it literally means that we are asking God to lift up that guilt, that burden of guilt, and carry it off. And that's exactly what He does. Many of us sometimes carry that burden of guilt because we think that we need to provide something for God, like a transaction of, I will do something if you do this. When it comes to forgiveness, we say, Lord, forgive me and I'll do better. Forgiveness and I'll do that. Yes, we want to improve the quality of life that we live before God's eyes. But when we mess up, being a God who is faithful, who is in steadfast love, who is long-suffering, who is gracious, and who is loving, who is merciful, He takes your burden and lifts it off of you. And this is the image of somebody taking a heavy burden and lifting it off your back and taking away Himself for you. I don't know what you may be carrying this morning. I don't know what baggage or burden of guilt you may have. But God is reminding us from the very beginning of the Bible that He will lift our guilt and that He's forgiving because He has taken away that burden from us. As you go throughout this day, may you walk light, knowing that God has lifted your burden of guilt from you. May God bless you.